Hey, true believers. Chris Mack coming at you with a really special issue today. This is Detective Comics 457. And this is the issue that introduced Dr. Leslie Thompkins. Now, what's really cool about this issue before we get into it is this comic book in particular was the issue that inspired the Batman the Animated Series episode Appointment in Crime Alley, which in that show introduced Leslie Thompkins as well. So if you want to watch that one, I believe it was season 1, episode 12. So make sure to check that out. So as you see here, the haunting story, the murder that created Batman. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And I love how this opening page here kind of echoes the cover, except here, you see the gunman running away. You see Bruce in torment over his parents' bodies. And then here, we see this shadowed figure. And we're not really introduced at who this is, but as I already said, this is the first appearance of Leslie Thompkins, and that's who that is here. And this book came out March 1976, and it was created by the master, Denny O'Neil, which I hope he rests in peace. He just recently passed away, which is really sad. The art by Dick Giordano, and then edited by Julius Shorts. So, I know this is a lot of reading here, but it really sets the tone. So I'm going to go ahead and go through it as quick as I can, so bear with me. 21 years ago, this was the dwelling place of the rich and soon-to-be rich. A place of gourmet restaurants and the fashionable theaters, of elegant women and suave men. But the dry rot of time set in, and the laughter stopped, and the lights dimmed, and those elegant men and suave men sought their pleasures elsewhere. And now, only the forlorn and the desperate walk the streets. For one night, 2 brutal slayings occurred, signaling the beginning of the end. The area, known as Park Row, acquired a new name. Crime Alley, and there is no hope in Crime Alley. So from what I understand, this is also the first historical appearance of Park Row, aka Crime Alley, where Bruce's parents were gunned down, hence this last little blurb we just went through. So we get a twofer, which is really great with this issue. Now we open up, and again, if anybody knows why because all my Batman comics, as I try to collect them, I usually end up getting them out of order. Why at this point is Bruce living in the penthouse instead of the mansion? Because we kind of went over this in, Batman 232, where, they said, oh, this is the old home front. So if anybody could explain to me down in the comments why they abandoned the mansion during this time, let me know. I'd definitely appreciate it. Now check this out. Alfred's telling him that there's a huge, jewel heist, and Bruce says, I don't care. I'll be back at dawn. And Alfred doesn't even understand at this point. He goes, he's never explained where he goes on this date every year or why. So, we're used to, future comics and shows where everyone knows why Bruce goes to Crime Alley on this date. It's even touched on in the Tim Burton 89 Batman film. So, Bruce goes through, and O'Neil and Giordano here with his artwork really show how bad Crime Alley has gotten. And even right there, there's this knife man wanting to mug this gentleman. And he goes, go ahead, yell your full head off. In Crime Alley, nobody pays attention. So you've seen the depths of that this place has fallen. But they only have one true savior left, and that, of course, is Bruce Wayne, Batman. And as he's going through, he's asking all these people, have you seen Leslie Thompkins? And so, think of it at this time in 1976, people are going, who's Leslie Thompkins, and why does he care? So as we go through this review, try to keep in mind why. Because, at this point, we know. But try to think of it through those eyes, and you'll kind of start to appreciate it. And so he's led to this street fair where Leslie was supposed to be running it. Now, we get this guy, and he goes, hey, Bats, how you doing, pal? You sure gave me a hand last year when those kids were hassling me. Year ago exactly, right? And then he goes, right. Have you seen Leslie Thompkins? So you can see that Batman does have a rapport with this neighborhood, and people do rely on him. And then we are finally introduced to Leslie Thompkins. And as you can see, this guy's name's Gooch, and they're getting ready to mug her. And he said, our pigeon's ripe for the plucking. We are immediately, once we get past the ads, hang on folks, I can get my fingers on the page. We are immediately introduced to her persona. She goes, what is it, boys? Let loose your purse. I'd like to. I realize you're probably broke. A lot of people are these days. But I've got the receipts from the street fair, and the money is earmarked for the children of the neighborhood, to give them a chance you boys never had. I have a modest bank account. I'll write you a check. I don't know if you're crazy or just dumb. And I don't care. Grab the purse. And so Batman swings in to save Leslie because all of his intimidation and talking to people he has rapport with have led to where she's at. Now, with the art team and Denny's words, this is the part I really want to go over, because that Gooch guy that we talked about just a minute ago pulls a gun on Batman. And you just see his mood just get really dark. And he goes, you dare pull a gun on me. Pull a gun on me here. Do you? Do you? Now check this out, because you're wondering at this point, why, Batman jumps in the peril every night. He has guns pulled on him, knives pulled on him, laughing gas, acid, the whole gamut. So why is he all of a sudden, coming unhinged? And once I skip these 3 pages of ads, I will show you. Hang on real quick, everyone. So again, as I was talking about O'Neill and the art team doing something beautiful, again, this is one of those ones I'm going to try to get through it, but it really is deep in this. So, trembling with fury, the Batman crashes his fists into Gooch again and again, and his mind reels, spins like a dervish into the past, to 21 years ago, this very night, where he and his parents were standing on this exact spot, chatting about the movie they just seen, when a gunman emerged from the shadows. And as the boy watched in horror, 2 shots were fired, and his face contorted in a silent scream as his mother and father crumpled to the cold pavement. Later, there were policemen and reporters, but nobody noticed the boy racked with endless sobs. Nobody except a woman who knelt by him and said, I'm Leslie Thompkins. Come with me. I'll do what I can. And in all the world, there was nothing. Nothing except the warmth of her arms and the comfort of her soothing words. Whew. So this is how we're introduced to Leslie and the type of characteristics that she has. You see that she is basically wants to be kind of like a mother figure to this whole neighborhood, and Bruce in particular, because she sees that if he doesn't have anybody watch over him, he can end up just like all these other people that she's trying to help nowadays. And here's the thing, is at this point, because as we read later books and of course in the animated series, Leslie at that point knows who Batman is. Here she does not. She goes, I've been expecting you, Batman. You always come to visit on this day. I confess, I've never understood the reason. And Batgirl says, call it a memorial, a reminder of who I am, of my beginning and my probable end. And you, Miss Thompson, what is your reason for continuing to live in Crime Alley? Oh, I once saw a hideous thing, a child whose parents were murdered in front of his eyes. I've never forgotten the lad. I've devoted my life to doing what I can to prevent such tragedy. And so right there, I'm going to end the review because I don't want to spoil this. I want y'all to read the thing in its entirety to just see how O'Neill introduces us to a pivotal character that, everyone, she's underutilized. That's what I'm trying to say here in the comics. Now, I know she had kind of a spotlight in Gotham, but Gotham didn't really capture the essence of this. Now, Paul Dini and Bruce Timm did. And that's what I loved about the Appointment in Crime Alley, because in that cartoon show, they know who each other are. And Leslie, after they do a flashback of Bruce as a child, she says, good people used to live in Crime Alley. And Batman lays some roses where his parents fell. And he says, good people do still live in Crime Alley, referring to Leslie. So now we have the original comic and a great episode that harken to the importance of Leslie Thompkins in the Batman universe. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the review there. If you all have enjoyed this comic, please make sure to support your local comic shop and see if they have it in stock first before going elsewhere. And if you've enjoyed this review, we'd definitely appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little Batman bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys can come to the channel. And we love to have a dialogue with y'all down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description below. So with all that said, I hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.